You are the only participant. Started.
We're broadcasting again today, and let's say every day is 7/11. Every day is an extension of the understanding that we have. Now, you're not practicing it yet, but the understanding and awareness of the principles involved are there within you. So even though you haven't developed the habits of forming the circles as co-secretary generals, co-sefiras, you have the knowledge of them. That has been given to you. And you've heard it about enough that you have internalized it somewhat. There's a little bit of a nascent circle forming, circle process forming within all of you. Now, Anna Marie today and I just made some calls. We called Julianne Marie and told her we wanted to talk with her very lovingly and seriously about what happened to her as a baby with Dr. Strauss interfering with her breastfeeding on cue with Sarah Harriet. And then we also told her that we felt that Aunt Jacqueline had been requested for at least 15 years, more than that probably, to talk with Julianne Marie and I together on a phone conversation. And Jacqueline has been refusing to do that for all this time. So Anna Marie and I invited Jacqueline to do that and to think about doing that, and that until she did that, Anna Marie would kind of stand in for her as a great aunt for Julianne Marie, and we presented that for Julianne Marie as a momentary kind of fostering that would help her not get pulled into the splitting behavior of her aunt, Jacqueline, our aunt. And this is one thing that we'll make sure that our generations know, because the roles of older women, and Anna Marie has also talked with Georgine about this, and Georgine also is having trouble, but we're going to keep in touch with them on this, and until they are able to do what Anna Marie and I have asked them to do, which is to do a joint shared phone call. And of course, you all need to do that. You all need to do that. So I'm not giving up on that at all. And Anna Marie and I agreed that by her birthday, which is September 22nd, my birthday, which is September 25th, which is 7/25 or 7/7, which is 7/11, 11 times 7. And also the 27th is a good day too. We're going to try to extend the time on this situation of our family so that we can effectively turn back spring during this month, and it will be connecting the spring and the autumnal equinoxes, and not forgetting the spring at all, because we're going to give extra time to our younger people on the autumnal equinox time, which is Anna Marie's and our birthdays, and not forgetting our women either, because we recognize that the women of our culture are denying springtime to themselves and to their children. They are forcing them into an older man's hot summer and a cold winter, which is the opposite of the freshness of spring. And so we are going to do that. So let's do our broadcast, and we'll do it. I, of course, did the broadcast yesterday. I'm doing them right now. I'm doing it again. Here's our Statue of Liberty on the screen, and here's all our multiple statues of liberty, and here's here's the new Millennial Golden Rule connecting to the website, which I hope you've all read, and here is the marvelous, miraculous gathering place. And now, Anne, I have been keeping in touch with all of the women. I periodically play the recording, which I'm going to play now for everyone. I want to make sure they understand that this is a gathering hub, and that we are not quitting, we're not going down, and we're not submerging ourselves. And God is yet behind this activity and wants to see us gather. So that's the way we're going to keep doing it till we do. And so now let's let's do the ceremony. I'll play our marvelous voices.
And then she said she couldn't do the maid for everybody. Did you feel she wanted that? That's when she came back and started to sell again. Her whole love was to drop her children there. This is what she did. Just to get along, have enough to eat. She was careful, very careful. And there was a sister, Clara.
So, you know, you hear as Harriet and Jacqueline here, and I just told you, Anna Marie is going to kind of foster the situation of Jacqueline and my sister Julianne Marie, her nieces, Julianne Marie and I. Anna Marie is going to take a foster role because Jackie's very stuck for reasons which we understand. And this is good for Jackie too, because she has Alzheimer's because she's doing this to herself and to her nieces. And it's also affecting our next generations. All of the younger people, all of the younger cousins and cousins have a split that is being enforced by the older aunt in this family, even though she's doing it in a state of mental confusion at times. It's not clear. She's pretty lucid with me most of the time that she has Alzheimer's. That's why she was diagnosed. Who knows? The way the diagnoses are going on in this culture, and with the pharmaceutical companies so very busy collecting money off of all these diagnoses, who really knows? What I know is that she is wanting to know what she has done, and she doesn't want to look at what she's doing, and so Anna Marie is taking a foster role until she does. So let's do our big ceremony now. Our little, not such a big one, but it's just right sized. Okay, we're having a little trouble here with the picture. See it's clearly working, so maybe the camera has a little problem. Let's see what's going on here. Having a little camera problem. Let's check in a moment. Let's just see what's happening here. Yeah, the camera's working. Okay. There it is. Okay, now, ready? The light is on in all our hearts. We have with us marvelous, miraculous, budding, blooming flowers in water, hugged and loved to all, both and each and every one as soon as possible. The light is on in all our hearts. We have with us marvelous, miraculous, budding, blooming flowers in water, hugs and love to all, both and each and every one as soon as possible. And we'll say, Namaste, Bitukuye Oyosin, Mitakuya Koseveral, Kongs and Pox, Compax Culture, Tubes Sedleric, Sedleric Tubesque, Chin Quay, Chop Chop, Sayonara, Mahava, L'chaim, Shalom, Salam, Soul, Soul, Shalom, Shalom, Salam, Shalom, Mir, Pache, Pache, Mir, Merci, Ubuntu, Buenos Dias, Ciao, Chishlan Tavag, Das Vidanya, and Cheerio and good day, cheerio. And then we'll say, let's love and live eternally young, longest, and prosper all both in each and every one. As Equinox Q's Co-Secretary General's Koseviraz. And let's say again, let's love and live eternally young, longest, and prosper all both in each and every one. As Equinox Q's Co-Secretary General's Koseviraz of Milky Ways, Heartlight, Marvelous, Miraculous, Budding, Blooming Flowers, past, present, future, Equinox Q's Co-Secretary General's Koseviraz. And let's drink the milk of human kindness for all both in each and every one, representing all both in each and every one now and as soon as possible, as Equinox Q's Co-Secretary General's Koseviraz, and especially the 2 to 3 years on cue breastfeeding, and that's where we went a little wrong with that email yesterday. It really, well, there was several things wrong with that email, and I'm sorry, and I'm going to fix it. And by Anna Marie's birthday and on mine, long before then, that email will have a new version, and you will see it, and it will go to the right people, and we will be broadcasting with some of these women because they are aware. There's some things they've written on the issue of breastfeeding and family leave. Not quite optimal enough, but something. Definitely something, not complete avoidance of the issue, which is going on with a lot of people in this culture. And so we'll drink the milk of human kindness and throughout our lives as Equinox Q's Co-Secretary General's Koseviraz. Drink on behalf of all both in each and every one, representing all both in each and every one, of the Milky Way, Solar, Budding, Blooming, Marvelous, Miraculous, Co-Secretary General's Koseviraz. And it was delicious. And now we have our Purim and Passover liquids. There are Purim and Passover liquids, and we have, we want to say we have our juices and our wine, and our juice and our wine, and our Soma Vedic ceremonies, and our Entheons of the Elysian Mysteries, and our cocoa, and our eggnog, and all the different sacramental drinks. None are more holy than the milk. So let's drink on behalf of all, both in each and every one, but they're very holy, and they teach us about Mother Nature and our connection to nature. Let's drink on behalf of all, both in each and every one, representing all, both in each one now and as soon as possible, as budding, blooming, marvelous, miraculous, ever-growing and gardening, solar, Milky Ways, Co-Secretary General's Koseviraz, Equinox Q's. Delicious. Delicious. And now we have our water of loving, living planets that will reclaim and sustain the planet Earth and all our Earth to be, as Equinox Q's Co-Secretary General's Koseviraz. And our solar orbs here are so very important, and they are reflections of what we are. We are star stuff too. And so we'll drink on behalf of all, both of each and everyone. As Equinox Q's Co-Secretary General's Koseviraz of the solar heartlights, Milky Ways, budding, blooming flowers, marvelous, miraculous. Delicious. Don't take that for granted at all. You know it's endangered right now by global warming. That's what we're doing to ourselves. That's what old men are doing to us. That's what patriarchy causes to occur. When the estrogen is not flowing into the decision-making arena, get a big problem. So now we have our cakes, and we'll celebrate and re-celebrate all our birthdays, conception days, name days, and holy days, starting with our Shekinas and our younger Shekinas, Sekinas, around age 37 and younger. Doesn't have to be perfect. And as I said, by Anna Marie's and my birthday, which is September 22nd, September 5th, right around the equinox, we're going to give it a special extra time, not only to the women, but especially to the younger people of our family, because we did miss gathering in the spring. We're going to be gathering by then. I feel pretty sure we're going to be gathering by then, but we want to give them their extra chance and do that many times for them, and it shows some generational responsibility that has been lost because women themselves have not been shown generational responsibility by generations of men who have been hegemonist toward them without realizing that the women have kind of taken that on the chin for all these thousands of years, and has impacted them, and they don't function as well as they would if they were co-decision makers. So let's celebrate and re-celebrate all our birthdays, conception days, name days, and holy days as Equinox 2Qs, Co-Secretary Generals, Co-Secretaries, past, present, and future of the heart of the Milky Way, solar budding, blooming, marvelous, miraculous, Co-Secretary Generals, Co-Secretaries. And let's do it this way. Let's celebrate and re-celebrate all our birthdays, conception days, name days, and holy days as Equinox 2Qs, Co-Secretary Generals, Co-Secretaries. All of those marvelous descriptors that we always say, okay? And budding and blooming, marvelous, miraculous, solar, heart lights, Milky Ways. And so then we have our Purim cookie and our Passover wafer. It's round cookie instead of a triangular one because we want to represent women gathering in a circle, and we have the flattened bread to remind us that under patriarchy people rush and they can't become fully risen. So then we have our transformational edibles, which when we gather, we will eat together. And I'm not running out of time, so I hope you're not. I'm not. And we have our round bread for our females, risen females, and our oval bread for our risen males. And we also have our rice and our oats to remind us that the foodstuffs of the world go beyond wheat. They are many and varied, and we thank Mother Nature on this and all our planets. Universal Mother Nature. And now we have our consciousness currencies. Our consciousness currencies. We have our we're including, of course, our YOUTHSZ and Native American women and youth too, but starting with the women up here in the Akashic Record area, in our Morellian, Adelian, Margulian, Silver Golden Kindians, Alkinian, Feldmarian, Hurston, Herzogian, Sweet, Sagan, Goldenberg, Goldberg, Newcomerian, Millerian, Lichtian, all of the various names that have come into our family, all the kins and the kinds. Let me include that specifically just in case people think we're not including them. The kins and the kinds, very important. We're not disincluding anybody. It's just obviously some people want to be disincluded. They want to split. And there's a reason for that. They're adjusted to patriarchy, and without acknowledging the impact on them and how that actually injures the family circle. In order for people to gain a certain kind of control over people, that goes with patriarchy. And with egalitarian society, it's flowing. There's no need for control. So we want to include those people, though, and they know that we want to. Kins and kinds, they know. And so, and we made good outreach there. So we'll come back to it. The time will come when that comes. But right now, we have to understand that there's some obstructors, and that the people who are affected by them have to kind of put a little shields up in dealing with that. And then we have our Morellian, Adelian, and so and we have YOUTHSZ, and we have Lee Winfrey and Brandon Skake, Hannah Fitzgerald, blah blah, and all of the and Cassidy and Howell, and many, many more. Then we have our current generations of women with all these surnames interacting, and then we have our younger generations, females and males, equally important, of our younger generations, so very precious with the women, also goddess precious, all of them. And let's give you all big hugs and kisses. Very good. And now let's do our big branching family tree. That's very important, of course, and we don't forget that at any time. That's where we're having a lot of trouble with all of you, aren't we? You know that we're doing this, you keep running away from it. That shows the extreme weight of individualism and adjusted to separation among women. Women are afraid to flow with each other, afraid to connect. That's what's going on in our family. You can see that. And when that happens, the men, the connections among the men are not the right kind of connections. They're not egalitarian male. They become patriarchal, and then the men become seduced into a dominator mode, which is not actually good for them either. It's not good for anybody, but it comes with patriarchy, so we have to switch to parity. So we thank us, Harriet and Ray and Harriet, for gathering us here at this marvelous, miraculous place and virtuous place. It's the start of a new universe. When you come gathering by my Amber's birthday, I'm sure it will be that. And we have let's start with Hannah and Estrella and Libertia. And I already said has Harriet and Ray and Harriet, Ray and Clara, as Harriet and Jacqueline. I'll have some things to say about Jacqueline. I think I did already just now. Because she has to be pulled out of that obstructor role, and Anne Marie and I are going to minister to her and to Julianne Marie most diligently, and also to some of the others of you who need a little pulling out. We know your children are maybe suffering, and even some of you personally are suffering. So we don't want that. So let's fix that. We have so in our Akashic record generates, I did that. So we have our current generations of women. I started with Marion, Victoria, Mariama, Julia, Marie, and I, Barbara, Alexandra, Rachel, Juliana, and Francesca, Susan, Sarah, Jodine, and Laura, remembering Beth Ann, who I should mention in the upper generation here. And I should also mention Sylvia Light and Bonnie and others there, and Ione, very important. And so we have also we have Leah and Jennifer with Sharon and Joan, and we have and Diane, and we have yeah, not Diana yet. Okay, and we have let's see, we have Batya, Helene, Sherry, and Arlene, remembering Lee and Thelma, and Lillian, and Rose, and Adele, and Lillian. And so we have, did I say Anne, and Ivanka, and Leah, and many more, Marguerite. I'm forgetting some of them. There's so many there that are very gifted, Marjorie and Monroe. So then we have our Silver Golden Kindian. We have, I already gave those, and then we have our Zal Kindian, Denise and Marcia, and also remembering all the Solomon Kindian coming in here, as I said, Eugenia and Robin and Linda, connected to Mrs. Light and Solomon, and agreed about Solomon, and all that, many there, and Linda, and many, many more. And then we have our Feldmarian family, remembering Giselle and Dorothy. We have Andrea and Meredith, and Andrea, Meredith, and Merle, Cheryl, and Susan, and many, many more. And we all have did I say Kasturba? Well, in the upper generations of the Akashic, we have Kasturba and Radha, and in these generations we have Sonia and Pratibha, and we also have obviously Anne-Marie singing crickets and Patricia Sunflowers. Anne-Marie and I were already doing some ministering to the women of our family today, right now, just before the broadcast. Very early, Anne-Marie's time, she did it at 6 o'clock in the morning. It was not even, it was 5 something in the morning, her time, 5 early in the day, to be able to help our family. So that's what a true aunt does, and that's what she did. Okay, and a person is functioning at a higher level, okay, and more balanced, egalitarian mental concept. And so now we have, but some of us are going to need a little work because a lot of people were not educated and they don't know that they're in a patriarchal mode that's destructive. So so we have let's see, our Marion, I gave that, and then Broadcasztz. We have Carolyn, Kathleen, Megan, and Carrie, and we have Alicia, Vanita, Oprah, Vanita, Patricia, Oprah, Alicia, and Krishnanda, and we have Marjorie and Hillary. Then we have, in this generation, we have our younger generations, so very important. Younger generations are very important. We have Hadas and Rachel Marie, Danielle Juliette, Stacy Anastasia, Soma, Vanessa Salia, Alex, Hesperus and Athena, and Vanessa Salia with Julia, Raquel, and Sharon, Vanessa, Hesperus and Athena, Halal and Ashira, and Alisa and Natalie, and back up a little bit here. Okay, and Alisa and Natalie, and April, Edith, Rosa, and Angeline, and Rebecca and Sandra, and Abby and Sarah. Oh, the upper generation, the middle generation, I forgot to mention Mary and Carrie and Donna and Diana, and there's many, many more. There are more. Okay, obviously, there's many more. And here, so we have Abby and Sarah, and we have Aquarius, and then we also have our young men, equally important, very important. And we're very, very concerned about this generation right now. But there's, you know, our younger people are getting the ones that wait on them, because the patriarchy favors the old. It doesn't favor the young, and especially old men and women who wink at the old men's misbehaviors. And so the situation is very serious for younger people, but we have faith that they will hold on through Anne-Marie's and my birthday, and we're going to solve all the problems of our family before then. Okay, and so we have also our young men, and we have Ben, Shannon, and John. We have Yishai, Harlan Elizabeth, Wesley, Harlan Elizabeth, Wesley, and Tani and Eric, and Jared, Ross, Marcel, Brett, and many, many more. And we have Andre also, and so let's give everybody, and once we've all co-anointed as co-secretary generals, co-secretaries, equinox Qs gathered together, then we can then open the stargates for our older women. They'll come through as young people, and also our older men. And during this time, the men who are 38 and over in our current culture have to simply start acknowledging and be held accountable for hegemony, Hegemony is something that women who have electric complexes seduce them into. They are not given the cues that they're doing something inappropriate. Women who are very injured, and the situation gets very depraved. So let's help the older men understand there is a problem with patriarchy, and we're not accepting it from them because it's not good for them either. It's not good for the planet. So let's give everyone kisses. It's killing the planet, so let's give everyone kisses and not do that. Instead, we'll have Equinox Good and have this and all our planets be paradisal. Past, present, future. Here's our kisses. Excellent. Okay, and now we have our Winstonian, Winston Towers, Mongol Towers. Is what I really like to call it. That would recognize their connection to both Mongol and Nazareth and the people there and Atlantis. Then it will be Winston. And right now it's Lewiston because Georgine is blocking. Julianne Marie is blocked in. Vanessa and Harmless Viz are blocked in. So let's fix that. Let's have our. I'll take that call in a moment. Let's put our hands up for Victoria and Mariama, and we have Julianne Marie and I. We have Vanessa Sully and Harmless Viz, and all of the people there, and all the arrayed family all around them. So let's give big kisses and say huge hugs. All right. And then let's do our big family tree again. And then we'll say, we'll pick parity, not patriarchy. We have our clear bowl with clarity. We'll pick parity, past, present, future, as equinox Q, so Secretary General's Cosive rods of our rainbow lights, heart lights, solar Milky Ways, in all our esters are our fruits, and the gems that we are of the rainbow, and the Co-Secretary General's Cosive rods, budding and blooming, marvelous, miraculous. And we'll pick parity and say no to patriarchy, and past, present, future, as equinox Q, Co-Secretary General's Cosive rods. And then we'll say supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, all the blessings and all the greetings of all the heritages of our earth and our earths, past, present, future, is equinox Q's Co-Secretary General Cosive. And we'll say it again. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, all the blessings and all the greetings of all the heritages of our earth and our earths, past, present, future, is equinox Q's Co-Secretary General Cosive. And we'll send this so it's available on the recording.
A stop call for this session is no longer being recorded.
Broadcasting with us, we have Lynn Mystic Healer. Bless you, dear. How you doing?
It's just an interesting time we're in.
draft. Realize that? Just like Israel. They want to mandatory draft the U.S. They have to see them.
Well, we have no democracy. So,
okay.
you know, we have no democracy. We have no democracy, so they can pass all kinds of insanity.
That's why we need people to go with you.
But I have to.
What we do when you teach and train people. And do no harm, but upon more torture. I mean, they have these over in Norway, do no harm. You know, the education's free. They even pay people to go to school in Denmark. I mean,
Right. These are the kinds of things that Americans don't know. They're kept so dumb. Yeah. Right. Right. Listen, I have to, this is the time when I make a round of calls to my family.
All right, sweetie.
So I love you, and you're my family too, and we honor your mothers and the broadcast too. We talk about Elizabeth and Ruth, and you and all your family are included.
Really, the universal, I've been really getting involved with the community services legislation with universal basic income with single parents. That's really
right.
what I'm focused on.
Right, dear.
Now I've been working year we've got a housing project going for the homeless. Looks like it